I was working today and I made that meal, and you could have thought to yourself, you could have said, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
What?
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit. I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick. You're a prick.
It's been a couple of months since I streamed, and it's given me a lot of time to reflect on the last 3 years. And for those of you that don't know, maybe you're new to the channel, I went from selling copiers in Milwaukee to interviewing 1,000 women in England about marriage, relationships, culture, family. My life changed basically overnight from doing 3 years of shows. So the theme of this week is lessons I learned from 3 years of shows. I was a normal woman selling copiers in Milwaukee when I stumbled upon a Kevin Samuels video. That video changed my life. His content inspired me to do panel shows where I interviewed over 1,000 women and men about marriage and relationships. These are some of the lessons that I've learned. Over the past 3 years, when I listen to women talk about their fears and obstacles they have encountered in dating, and even obstacles I myself have had in the past, there is one thing that I would hear. I did so much for him. I want a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard a woman say that she did so much for you. I would hear women talk about how they cooked, cleaned, and catered to a man who did not appreciate it. I would hear women talk about how they gave their best years to a man. Maybe the woman was with the man for 10 years and he never married her. Those women were very bitter. Maybe the woman moved to him only to have him change his mind. Maybe the woman changed her career and deleted her Instagram, and it ended with no ring and no children. So, what if you cook, clean, and submit to a man who does not appreciate it and rewards the behavior? When I spoke to women, this seemed to be a common complaint. From my observations, it boils down to a couple of things. When women say they were not appreciated in their last relationship, it generally means the women are doing things with the expectation of getting something in return. We all know that person in your life who you refuse to accept favors from, because if you do, they will hold it over your head later. Many times, without knowing it, women become that person. What about all I did for you? Why did you let me do that? What I have found is a more healthy mentality to have is to give without expecting anything in return. When I think about the most warm and feminine women I know, they consistently give to their community and family without the expectation of getting something in return. I would personally rather get nothing at all than receive something from someone who expects something in return for giving it to you. The next explanation is that women were not nearly doing as much as they thought they were. Sure, maybe they cooked and cleaned for their husbands, but isn't that what they're supposed to do? Don't you have to eat too? Maybe she gave him a really good gift one time. Maybe she cooks dinner once a week. But generally, women overvalue what they do and undervalue what the man is doing. This is why we have phrases like you need to build a man up. Men build themselves up, and we can either be assets or liabilities. What we tend to forget is how much men do for us. The shows, the reality TV shows they watch for us that they don't even like. All the events that they get dragged to that they don't want to be at. Sometimes women do the right things, but so is a man. And you can do the right things and not get the guaranteed, and sometimes you can do the right thing and still not get the outcome that you desire. Life is not fair and there are no guaranteed outcomes. It goes back to do not give in order to get, give because you want to give and hope it's mutual. Sometimes, in other times, I would see that a woman had a glaringly negative personality trait that needed to be fixed before a man would take it to the next level. Maybe she would nag constantly. Maybe she was disrespectful. Oftentimes, men will date women in hopes that they will improve or maybe get better. And the reason that he would not take her down the aisle or give her a ring is one, the laws that we talked about, but we've gone over those on this show. Other times it's because there is a but. I love her, but insert negative trait. It is not the right man. Oftentimes, I would hear women who spent their 20s with influencers, entertainers, rappers, and even at times drug dealers. Like drug dealer. Why didn't a drug dealer marry you? What are you guys doing? Who would not commit to them. The women picked the wrong man to give the best of her to. So what I learned from this is there's no guaranteed outcomes in life. There are women who do all the right things and wind up single mothers. I know a woman whose husband has brain cancer and she will likely end up a widow. There are women who took a gamble and gave a man their best years who was not ready. In life, there are no guaranteed outcomes, and saying you did too much for a man who did not appreciate it is thinking that the outcome is in your control, and that itself is not feminine. In order to combat this, many women nag in order to get what they want. They nag for the ring instead of trying to be worthy of it. How many women ask themselves how they can be better to deserve a ring instead of nagging for one? And at times, I would see it work. I would see men get their feet dragged down the aisle. But it's not really the same sentiment when you nag a man into taking you down the aisle than when he wants to do it. Now, what do the men say about this? When I ask the men if they ever had a woman that did too much for them, the answer is overwhelmingly no. But if a man did feel like he passed up on a good girl, generally he will say it was not the right timing, he was too young, but if it was not that, it was generally one of the reasons I listed above. Many men feel as though we want the ring and the children more than the man. A story that I think of is there was a man, and he was a successful entrepreneur, and he was dating a woman for a couple of years. He loved this woman. He wanted to be with her the rest of her life. She wanted to get married. He did not feel like that was in the cards for him because of the laws, and he had spent a lot of times building himself up to be something. And he said from that, he realized that she wanted the ring more than she wanted him. She had him. She had his time. She had his attention. He wasn't seeing anyone else. But she wanted the ring. Women very rarely give without expecting to receive something in return. This is why when women get the kids and the ring, oftentimes they stop caring about the man. I have heard men say that their wife completely changed after marriage and after children. I know two women in college who were more on the traditional side. One woman was dating a man who was on the lacrosse team, and one was dating a man on the basketball team. They both wanted to be with the men. The guys were kind of players, right? They were kind of the hard type to get to settle down. They really had the option to be with a lot of women on campus. Both of these women stayed with the man in a non-committed relationship for all of college. By the way, I don't recommend this or say this as the best course of action. I just look at results. One woman got dumped after college, and he went on to be a player for most of his 20s. The other woman married him and is now pregnant with his child. I would say that the woman that had the worst outcome was actually more feminine than the one that got married. Again, life is not fair, and life is about choices and trade-offs. Some women choose to go after highly desired men, and the trade-off is that if he feels like it, you're out the door. Other women choose to go after less sought-after men, and it will be more likely to be a sure thing. Some women leave these situations bitter and make the next guy pay. That is where you get the don't do too much for him content. These are generally older women that used their youth on a man and didn't get the outcome that they desired. That's where you also get the I do not perform wife duties for girlfriend treatment content. Again, these are women who did things with the expectation of getting something in return, and it did not pan out. So they make the next man pay. Femininity is about selflessness. It's not about keeping score. All you can do is be the best version of yourself, and you cannot control the universe. So what made me think of this monologue today was a video that I watched a couple of years ago. And I remember watching this video when I was younger, and I totally thought Jennifer Aniston was in the right. It's called The Breakup. It's about Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. They're dating in this movie, and they end up breaking up. This was a super viral scene. Okay, let's go.
Yo, you blind? Oh, no, my demo!
Well, I'm gonna go do the dishes.
Cool.
It'd be nice if you helped me.
No problem. We'll get them a little bit later. I'm just going to get this.
So it starts there, right? It would be nice if you helped me. And I know on the surface, right, a lot of women think it's simple, right? Oh, just help her with the dishes. But again, what is she cooking and cleaning for him because she wants to or because she's expecting something in return?
Sit here for a little bit.
Gary, come on. I don't want to do them later. Let's just do them now. Take 15 minutes.
Oh, honey, I am so exhausted. I just honestly want to relax for a little bit. If I could just sit here, let my food digest, and just try to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. Get some. That's what happens. And we will, we can clean the dishes tomorrow.
Gary, I don't like waking up to a dirty kitchen.
Who cares?
Who cares? I care. Me. I want it done now. Me. My way or the highway.
Care, all right? I care. I busted my ass all day cleaning this house and then cooking that meal, and I worked today. It would be nice if you...
So right there, we have it again. I did this, so you must do this.
...said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on.
So now he's doing it, right? And this is, it shows the dynamic. Women nagging, right? And they get what they want. Is that how you want to get what you want?
You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes? Why?
See, that's my whole point.
Let me see if I'm following this, okay? Are you telling me that you're upset because I don't have a strong desire to clean dishes?
No, I'm upset because you don't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes.
I just did.
After I asked you.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Just
I didn't
did.
call you crazy. No, I didn't. I said you're acting crazy.
You know what, Gary? I asked you to do one thing today, one very simple thing, to bring me 12 lemons, and you brought me 3.
God damn it. If I knew that it was going to be this much trouble, I would have brought home 24 lemons. Even 100 lemons. I know what I wish?
But see, this is her getting mad just to get mad. They're in New York City. How far is a lemon? You can't just walk down the street and go get a lemon. This is why I say a lot of times women, we just argue to argue. That the solution is so easy. So easy.
Wish everyone that was at that goddamn table had their own little private bag of lemons.
Gary, it's not about the lemons.
So that's all you're talking about?
I'm just saying it'd be nice if you did things that I asked. It would be even nicer if you...
So when you think of like a kind, sweet grandma, right? Who spends her whole day slaving away in the kitchen for you. You never get this attitude with it. And this is the problem with the women in our generation. We just do things oftentimes in order to control people or in order to get something in return.
Did things without me having to ask you.
Well, I do seem to remember doing something for you this morning without you asking.
Gary, come on.
I'm
You know what?
serious.
No, I'm
here.
serious.
am
I
too.
really am. Come on, you knew I was working today and I made that meal and you could have thought to yourself, you could have said, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You say that you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about, you're not getting it. You're not getting this, Gary. Okay, it's not about the lemons. It's not about the flowers. It's not about the dishes. It's just, how many times do I have to drop hints about the ballet?
You know I can't Brooke, come here. We talked about the damn ballet. I hate the goddamn ballet. You got a bunch of dudes in tights flopping around for 3 hours. It's like a medieval techno show. It's a nightmare. I sit there in a sweat. The whole thing. I do. Wondering when the hell's the goddamn nightmare gonna end? Go to a damn ballet.
It's not about you loving the ballet, Gary. It's about the person that you love loves the ballet, and you want to spend time with that person.
Not when they're at the ballet?
Okay, forget the ballet. Forget the ballet. We don't go anywhere together.
We just went to Ann Arbor together.
To Ann Arbor. To the Michigan Notre Dame game. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
I'm up on the bus every goddamn...
So this is what I was saying before. I do this. She doesn't notice what he does. She only notices what she does. And when I hear women talk about this, or... even at times where I've thought like this, it's a problem with the woman because she is keeping score.
Damn day
Come
for you.
on,
I'm busting my ass to be the best tour guide in the damn city so I can make enough money to support both of us, and hopefully you won't have to work one day.
I want to work.
All I ask, Brooke, is that you show a little bit of appreciation, that I just get 20 minutes to relax when I come home instead of being attacked with questions and nag the whole damn time.
You think that I nag you?
That's all you do! All you do is nag me. The bathroom's a mess. Your belt doesn't match. Hey, Gary, you should probably go work out. Nothing I ever do is ever good enough. I just want to be left the hell alone.
Really? Is that what you want, Gary? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
Fine, great, do whatever the hell you want. You leave your socks all over this house, dress like a pig, play your stupid ass video game. I don't care, I'm done.
What?
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit. I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick. You're a prick.
This is why I say usually when there's fights, it's kind of the woman's fault. She could have just did the dishes. She could have just did the dishes. But now it's like this huge deal. You didn't do this, and this. She has every place that he fell short, which I am sure, and this is the thing about men, they don't really bring up where we fall short. They really don't. You know, men are much more forgiving. Women, it's like we bring up things from like 2 years ago on March 2nd, 2002. You did X, Y, and Z. And that's the issue with women. A lot of times we have a harder time letting things go. Yeah, okay. You guys get the idea. They broke up. That was the end of the do the dishes. It's a medium in which our minds communicate differently. Yeah, and this was kind of one of the red pilling moments that I had interviewing 1,000 people. Was in the media, online, on YouTube, you always get the man's or the woman's point of view on relationships. When the media publishes a movie, the woman is always an angel. The guy is always the guy that didn't appreciate her, the bad guy who just yada, yada, yada. And when I interviewed men about their side of the story, I mean, even that, right? You can see what the movie is getting at. The movie is getting at that poor Jennifer Aniston. She does so much for this guy. He doesn't appreciate her. He just behaves like a child. And she is the angelic woman who just could do no wrong. You can tell it's written by a woman. It's written for women. And that scene went viral because many women identified with it. And the issue you get with that mentality is when you're keeping score and you're doing things to get things in return, nobody wins. It's something I've seen in, a lot of marriages, even from women of the older generation. It's not just a young thing. Women have a really hard time letting things go and not keeping score in relationships.